Well, Kelowna has some big buildings here. Much bigger city than I thought as I was driving in last night. There's quite a few lights on the horizon. Here's the hostel that I'm staying at in town, the High Kelowna, which is decent, but the location is fantastic. And today is another beautiful sunny day outside, so the plan is I want to explore a bit of Kelowna, but this afternoon I'm going to get on a bicycle just a little bit outside of town. And Kelowna is a very nice city, and it's giving off Southern California vibes right now. I don't know what it's, the sunny weather or the mountains in the distance that look forested but also dry. Yeah, if you close your eyes quickly and open it up quickly, you would be, I'm in Southern California right now. Interesting. And yeah, this is the exact road I came in last night where I couldn't see a thing. And now I can see everything. So over there is where I collected my e-bike. And here's my handy e-bike here. I've got it for 3 hours at a cost of $88. And I'm going to be going down the Myra Canyon trail. Honestly, I don't know that much about it. Just looked at a few pictures and read up on it a little bit, but it looks like it's going to be a pretty awesome bike ride. And it is a beautiful day outside, so let's get on the bike. Let's check out that canyon. Pretty impressive canyon there. And yeah, you see that bridge in the distance. This trail goes on for I think 22 kilometers. So I'm going to see a lot. These tunnels are so cool. And they get pretty dark too. But there's always light at the end of the tunnel. So getting an e-bike was not totally necessary for this. A regular mountain bike would suffice, and even just hiking this trail would be a joy. But the e-bike here, you are able to cover a lot of ground because of the motor, and if you're ever going uphill, it could be very valuable as well. This Myra Canyon bike trail, it was actually first started to be built in 1912 and completed in 1914, and it used to serve as a rail line between the interior of BC and here to Kelowna, and then eventually to Vancouver and the coast. But then by the end of the 60s, the passenger service stopped, and by 73, I believe, the freight service stopped. So from 1973 onwards, it was abandoned. In the 1990s, the Canadian government took over the trail, opened it as a path for hikers and bikers to enjoy. And since then, they've made additions to the trail, rebuilt the bridges, because these look pretty fresh. In total, there's 18 bridges on this trail and 2 tunnels. I actually just made the decision to try out this trail last night, so in my prep work for my trip across Canada, this place didn't spring up. I didn't really focus too much on Kelowna. I knew there was like wineries and maybe a cool lake and maybe a town, but yeah, when I got in last night, I did the research and I discovered this place, and I am so glad I found it. A nice message, but is it is it really that necessary? I don't want like murderers and rapists and people who pollute the environment to be here, so I think everyone should be welcome. But anyways, this is the end of the trail, and it's another parking lot, so you could drive in from this end, but I'm gonna ride the bike back towards where I came from. And this is cool. Along the trail they have these little storm shelters, so if the rains ever come down intensely, you could just kind of hide out in here for a while. Also get some shade. No toilets here, but there are ones 1.65 kilometers down the road here. This part is awesome. So here's a money shot of the city of Kelowna. You see, fairly large for this area of the province. And you see the tall building next to the long lake, which is where I'm staying at. Making good time the end. Or the beginning for me. So this whole ride took me just under 3 hours to finish. And I stopped a lot along the way. So you could do it in less time with an e-bike, but 3 hours is a good time to give yourself to enjoy it. And now we're back at the parking lot. Alright, now we're going to drive down to Kelowna, but along the way I want to visit some of the vineyards. Can't drink wine because I'm driving, that sucks, but just driving around the area will be really nice. And they also have orchards, so I've seen peaches and cherries for sale. Seems like the real thing. So sick and smooth. Alright, you know I had to stop here. So we had corn, apples, cherries, plums, apricots, and melons. Wow, what a selection. Again, the blueberries. They even have vegetables here too. I went bonkers there with I've just gone to town there on that fruit. I've eaten 2 of the different peaches, whole handfuls of blueberries, and maybe a dozen or so cherries already. It's just a hot day, fresh from the farm, but I gotta say, some of, if not the best fruit I've ever had in my life. And I think I'm gonna eat it all tonight. I was gonna bring some for my mom tomorrow when I see her tomorrow in Vancouver, but yeah, I'm gonna have to make another trip back here because I think I'm gonna eat all this fruit just today. All right, just had a good nap after my long day out in the sun today, and I'm feeling refreshed. So it's evening time now, and I'm gonna explore over here. We have the downtown area of Kelowna. The view of the lakeside as the sun is going down is very nice. The marina here is very large. You can tell there's a substantial amount of money in this city, and although the skyline isn't composed of these huge high-rises, there's just a lot of very nice looking buildings, and the homes and the orchards I drove around. Yeah, this city definitely has a lot of wealth to it. And we see this here in the public space of the park, where it's just so nice and cleaned and well maintained. Well done, Kelowna. Alright, headed out of Kelowna right now. Another beautiful day here. And outside of the town, I'm going to cross the bridge, cross over Lake Okanagan, and check out a couple of the wineries on the way out of town. the other side of the lake from the city of Kelowna. This area here is the central area of the wine production here in Kelowna. It began in 1850s with the arrival of some Catholic missionaries here. There are over 40 wineries in Kelowna today, and this area produces up to 90% of the wine in British Columbia. What a beautiful place this is. The drive up here was pretty awesome. Like I said earlier, yesterday, this place reminds me a lot of Southern California, with these hilly areas covered by green, but also quite dry as well. And if you head further south from here, it actually enters into somewhat of a desert climate. I'm going to take a drive through this area, which includes some beautiful homes up in the distance. Again, I'm sensing a lot of wealth and a lot of money in this part of British Columbia. People live very well here.